INA director gives insight of tax reforms. Health worker struggles to bring services to remote Goilala. And more than 500 refugees left on Manus Island.
This is National EMTV News with Helen Sayer.
Good evening and thank you for joining us for Saturday's news. It's been the talk for the last 2 weeks, tax reforms and what people should expect. EMTV News spoke with Institute of National Affairs Director Paul Barker to get an insight into the world of government tax and why Papua New Guineans are being deducted such high percentage of income tax. Barker says the government needs to consider broadening its tax base as income tax and goods and services tax are the top tax collection for the government.
Fortnight, employees in the formal sector that earn more than 12,500 kina annually pay income tax, with the issue of income tax rates being a hot topic since the beginning of 2019. Common questions raised time and time again. Where does the money go and what services are we paying for? Institute of National Affairs Executive Director Paul Barker says while PNG tax standards are fairly low compared to world standards, the pertinent question is what services taxpayers receive in return.
Different rates of tax around the world. Some countries have pretty high top marginal rates, including some of the countries developed countries that have better welfare systems. Of course, Papua New Guinea doesn't have a welfare system, so you're paying a high tax, but you're not actually getting a pension at the end of the day, and you're not getting unemployment benefit if you lose your job, and you're not getting much in the way of social services. But you are getting supposedly free education here, although, as we know, it's only partial free education because the money isn't there to pay for a whole. And there is what's called free health, but as we know, it's not really free, and it's often they don't have the drugs and other goods. But anyway, ostensibly there's meant to be a health service and an education service, which are obviously paid, and the roads, maintaining roads and building roads is funded by the government, as we know, not to a very high standard unless one's lucky enough to be in Port Moresby. But by and large, those services are not very good. Those public goods and services are not very good. But the major part of funding them is actually coming out of people's personal income tax.
The government also rakes in the big bucks in goods and service tax, or GST. Baker says from 2019 budget, the government has played it safe and kept the rate of GST at 10%.
Increase the GST level, so it's still at 10%. So that was welcome, I suppose. And it was presumably because the government felt that they could get tax revenue from other sources.
Enforcing taxes in the informal sector has been a difficult task for the government over the years. However, this year the Internal Revenue Commission is confident it will slowly improve the tax enforcement within the informal sector.
We've been able to do to bring our services closer to the people. So we've gone to the islands region, we've gone to Momasa, and now we're up in the highlands.
According to Mr. Barker, the government does need to broaden its tax base. He is of the view that an area that needs to be looked at are the arrangements of tax-free holidays, which has seen the country miss out on significant revenue over the years. But he agrees that employees within the formal employment who pay tax need to have the tax burdens eased.
It's nice to be able to reduce the higher end, but that does require broadening the numbers who are actually paying, and it also obviously requires the state to collect more from businesses. But some businesses are paying a lot at the moment, others are not paying their fair share. The resource sector, that's a big issue. As I say, the resource sector was paying almost nothing a couple of years ago in tax. They were paying something in dividends, but they were not really paying anything in tax, and that's coming, and they used to pay a lot more. It's partly because of the agreements that have been negotiated in the last few years, which have allowed some companies to actually have substantial tax holidays.
The Waitape LLG in Goilala district is in need of health services. Matthew Carmore, a health worker at the Waitape Health Centre, says most villages in the remote parts of this area do not have access to basic health services. He is now calling on the relevant authorities to look into this matter.
In the rural areas and even in the
medicine shortage and health services continue to be an issue in the country. Just 120 kilometers from the nation's capital, health worker Matthew Carmore in the Waitape LLG in Goilala says most villages within Waitape LLG are in great need of basic health services. Matthew and his wife Mary works at the Waitape Health Centre. According to Matthew, there are 8 workers in the health centre. However, all of them are in Port Moresby, and he and his wife are the only ones looking after the health centre. Early this week, Matthew and his wife walked a whole day from Waitape to Kosipe village to treat patients there.
People have been identifying malaria cases here, FOPLA, which confirm malaria cases here. So people are looking most people need lo come lo here lo Kosipe lo track him down sample or malaria suspect finish lo here.
For the 2 days the couple spent in the village, they attend to over 100 patients in Kosipe village. During the first day, they treated 83 adults and 3 children. And in the second day, they had about 30 more patients. Matthew also added that the Waitape LLG has missed out on the 3rd round of the polio vaccination. The couple are now calling on health authorities to look into remote areas that lack health services.
So right now we found out that people in the village all need him services straight. Kind health services and all other services from the government.
Patricia Keamo, National EMTV News.
More than 500 refugees are left on Manus Island awaiting outcomes for their relocation after the regional processing centre at Lombrum was closed more than 12 months ago. The refugees have since been relocated to an alternative site in Lorengau. Manus Provincial Police Commander Chief Inspector David Yapu says the refugees are blending well with the locals, but they aren't given any special treatment when they break PNG laws.
The small town of Lorengau is going through a transitional period from the much talked about regional processing center for refugees to a processing center that is no longer operational. According to the Manus Provincial Police Commander Senior Inspector David Yapu, there are more than 500 refugees left on the island waiting to be relocated.
We have about 500 plus refugees still in Manus. They are part of the community and they contribute to the economy of the province.
The refugees have been relocated from the defunct processing center at Lombrum to an alternative site in Lorengau. But the head of the Manus Police says they aren't getting any special treatment when it comes to law and order. They are dealt with accordingly when they break the law.
It's not that they're foreigners from different countries, but when they're in Manus, they're part of the community in terms of law and order. Yes, they do involve, but we are able to manage them. Yes.
Since 2017, numerous police cases involving the refugees have been reported and arrests were made. Also, at least 2 killings have happened that involve the refugees.
So far, we have about 100 plus refugees have already resettled in U.S. and we're expecting more to go. So, the asylum seekers will still remain in the country until the two governments, the government of Papua New Guinea, the government of Australia, come up with a solution to resettle them at the third country.
For now, it is the responsibility of the local police to maintain law and order on the island, taking into account the limited resources and manpower they have. The police are making sure the refugees blend well with the locals and disbanding any hints of trouble that may arise between various nationalities living on one small island. Edwin Fidelis, National EMTV News, Kokopo.
Amateur footage posted on social media has shown a brutal attack on one man in Port Moresby by NCDC City Rangers. Police say the attack stemmed from an argument over the chewing of betel nut in public places between the victim and City Rangers.
Oh my God! Uncle Mark.
The video, which went viral on social media, shows the victim being attacked with a piece of iron. Police in Port Moresby has confirmed that the incident occurred at the Waigani traffic lights, just meters away from the Waigani police station, and the man attacked has suffered serious wounds to his head. Those allegedly involved have been apprehended for further questioning and detained at the Waigani police cells. Towards the end of October 2018, the National Capital District Commission had engaged City Rangers to clean the city and enforce betel nut restrictions in Port Moresby. This was in preparations for the 2018 APEC Leaders Week, and the City Rangers continued to enforce their responsibilities into the new year. The office of the NCD Governor has been made aware of this incident and is yet to make a response to this. Thekla Gunga, National EMTV News.
You're with Saturday's News. We'll be back with more after these messages. Stay tuned.
Are you looking for something to chew?
Yes, I am. But it's more difficult to find something to chew.
Not if you're something.
Me no kai kai boy, me kai kai PK gasa.
The IPI Group is PNG's most innovative, dynamic and diverse logistics company, totally focused on delivering outstanding service. Our diversified divisions span from major warehousing, bulk fuel and road transport to large-scale commercial catering. The IPI Group of companies will be your partner, supplying tailor-made logistics solutions.
Technology is constantly evolving, creating opportunities to grow and connect globally. Telecom PNG provides you with the best innovative and flexible solutions. Our wide-ranging product portfolio includes
fixed line business system, fixed broadband internet service, metro fiber network, VSAT service.
You can trust us to take care of your business solution needs.
Telecom PNG, always there.
In our harsh and vibrant landscape, Dulux Weather Shield is the perfect choice to protect your building against everything Mother Nature throws at it. Worth doing, worth Dulux.
Let the cold, misty mountains of the highlands welcome you to our peaceful surroundings and fresh air. At the Juwaka Mission Resort, we guarantee safety and comfort with a 24-hour security and standby genset and solar. You are our #1 priority, with premium rooms all multi-channel and great housekeeping, ensuring you feel at home away from home. With a restaurant and bar and a private lounge all for your needs, our services extend to airport transfers and hire cars, and a spacious conference center that caters up to 200 people. Juwaka Mission Resort. You know us when you're here.
Women's Will is a program which advocates strongly for women here within Papua New Guinea.
Welcome back. Correctional service officers involved in the rampage on national parliaments will face the full force of the law. Correctional Service Acting Commissioner Stephen Pokanis made this known when commenting on the involvement of CS officers in the incident following the APEC Leaders Summit.
We play administratively, we'll deal on das
just late at the end of the year, Acting Deputy Commissioner Michael Mosri and alongside all officers along headquarters and along college. Basically, long asking all the sol, all officers give respond long only come. Deputy Commissioner Operations Dennis Piandi, by Dr. Long get a line where establishing backlog institutions long. So we have identified by list people who were there. We want those people to provide them this all footage long what happened long parliament come long as soon as we play community we play talk publicly because something we come up less clear so we play my report back long display.
43,000 kina worth of agricultural tools were delivered to Kosipe village in the Woitape LLG in Goilala district this week. Member for Goilala, William Sam, distributed the tools to 4 main clans in Kosipe village to help with the English Potato Project, an initiative that began in 2016.
This week, the MP for Goilala district, William Sam, delivered agricultural tools to the Kosipe village in Woitape LLG. The tools were presented to the local clan leaders to help with the English Potato Project in the village. According to Sam, the project is still in its trial stage and he would like the villagers to learn from it and improve their farming techniques.
In 2016, we brought seedlings from Laiga Minenga province to trial potato farming in Goilala based on advice from Fresh Produce FPDA in Koroka.
After the presentation of the tools, the MP was given the honors to harvest the potato plots with the villagers. Sam said Kosipe is historically known for agriculture, and he aims for the village to live by that reputation in producing quality produce and have it supplied to Port Moresby.
Sustained in commercial farming so that it can address food security, cash economy and poverty alleviation for communities in Kosipe and communities in Goilala district.
The tools were brought in at the request of the community leaders in Kosipe. The MP is urging the villagers to take ownership of the initiative to better sustain themselves. Patricia Keamo, National EMTV News.
Community leaders at West Taraka in Lae said homebrew has been a threat to the community and this should stop. Rosa Michael, a community leader, said unemployment is causing the homebrew cases to increase. Mrs. Michael also said that community leaders should work together with police to deal with homebrew cases in the community.
Here at West Taraka in Lae, homebrew is a common issue. Almost every day, community leaders at one block in Kerawagi Street deal with homebrew-related social problems. Rosa Michael, a community leader, said people under the influence of homebrew have become a threat to the community. Mrs. Michael has lived in the settlement for over 20 years.
Homebrew been come up big plan. Ostimia, plenty time me blo, so will big man marry me bla talk to stop him all picking ni blo me bla. Hem no gat, he no gat good bla. Pass him no slack him talk him come a big platform.
This community in past years has seen a lot of issues related to homebrews such as verbal insults, assault and harassment. Unemployment is one of the main causes of homebrew production cases, says Mrs. Michael. Saki Jerry, a youth, said he has been taking homebrew and he wants to stop this year because of the issues it causes.
Now I'm 2019, so I'm stop him.
Ben Onguglo, another community leader, said this has killed a lot of people in the past years and this should stop in 2019.
Now 19 now will stop him.
Mrs. Michael also suggests that the community leaders work hand in hand with police to find producers of homebrew and deal with them accordingly. Philia Pisab, National EMTV News, Lae.
The Wafi Golpu project area was shut down by frustrated landowners yesterday. They have demanded that their demands be met by the state and the company in order for operations to start. This follows frustrations over the recently signed MOU between the state and the company, which landowners say was done without consultation.
This was the scene at the Wafi Golpu's project area's main gate at Demakwa yesterday. Frustrated landowners and representatives from mine-impacted areas rallied to stop mine operations.
Stop down as of now!
Their faces were painted with mud, a traditional symbol of grief.
We now demand that the developer must vacate our customary land for indefinite period until all our demands listed below are fully met.
These actions come after weeks of protest over the recently signed Memorandum of Understanding between the company and the state. Landowners said they were not consulted prior to the signing and demanded that the MOU be revoked and reviewed.
The MOU signed by the developer and the national government must be revoked, and all the stakeholders, including us, the landowners, and our provincial government must enter into a new and proper agreement following the legal process allowed through the Mining Act.
The Tutumang also met a week after the signing and unanimously agreed not to recognize the MOU in support of the landowners' call. During this week, Morobe Governor Ginson Saonu visited landowners in the project area, maintaining the provincial council's stance to support the people.
Company want the government to go back long drawing board MUSM start can na yumi boom na tok long nuclear MOU.
Yesterday, a banner was hung up at the project site's gate stating that the mine would be shut down for an indefinite period until the landowners' demands are met. The landowners have written petitions for the Prime Minister and the company covering 18 points.
Number 2, Wafi Golpu mine must develop under new Mining Act. The rule of law must be followed. Something where you not stop inside the Mining Act, something where you not stop inside the Constitution, it must not be enacted, it must not be signed, it must not be agreed on, it must be withdrawn, and it must be disposed of.
Mine workers were forced to stop work, and the site will remain under lockdown for an indefinite period. Lucy Kopana, National EMTV News, Leh.
The University of Papua New Guinea has lost one of its senior staff. The late Matthew Kombuk was a mathematician by profession and was attached with the Mathematics and Computer Science Department. A funeral service was held at the UPNG chapel today and attended by colleagues, staff of UPNG, friends and family members.
Bachelor of Science in Mathematics, Computer Science in 2004, and he completed his honors in Mathematics and Computer Science.
The late Matthew Kombuk's elder brother, Dr. Benny Kombuk, gave an inspiring eulogy of a boy whose dream was to become a mathematician, from humble beginnings to achieving his dream of becoming an academic.
He completed his grade 10 in 1997 and went to Fatima Secondary School. And he finished his high school certificate in 1999.
UPNG colleagues from the Mathematics, Statistics and Computer Science Department were also present for the funeral service. Late Kombuk hails from Pukamil village in the Jiwaka province.
On behalf of the University and the School of Natural and Physical Sciences and the Division of Mathematics, Statistics and Computer Science, I convey our sincere condolences to the families of our late colleague, Matthew Kombuk. And I would like to thank you for sharing his life with us.
The late Matthew Kombuk's casket will leave for burial at home at his village on Monday. Tamara Pierre Agavi, National EMTV News.
Stories making headlines overseas. When we come back, stay with us.
Are you serious? Is this the fastest you can go?
Get out of here. Internet speed with Telecom PNG. I repeat, Telecom PNG is the fastest. The fastest here in PNG. So connect today to experience the difference. Telecom PNG, always there.
I love the way you taste.
I love the easy meal.
I love family dinner time.
I love my true guy.
I love the quality. I love the yummy smell.
I love the energy and strength.
I love my true guy.
So many reasons, all of us agreeing. So put on your t-shirts and let's all sing.
I love my true guy.
I love my true guy.
I love my true guy.
Let's sing it again.
I love my true guy.
I love my true guy.
I love my true guy.
PNG's rice, the very best rice, 'cause we all love a true guy.
Let the cold, misty mountains of the highlands welcome you to our peaceful surroundings and fresh air. At the Juwaka Mission Resort, we guarantee safety and comfort with a 24-hour security and standby genset and solar. You are our #1 priority, with premium rooms all multi-channel and great housekeeping, ensuring you feel at home away from home. With a restaurant and bar and a private lounge all for your needs, our services extend to airport transfers and hire cars, and a spacious conference center that caters up to 200 people. Juwaka Mission Resort. You know us when you're here.
Men's BBL this Sunday, doubleheader. At 1:45 p.m, Sydney Thunder will take on Adelaide Strikers. Perth Scorchers will go up against Sydney Sixers at 8:30 p.m, right here on MTV.
Tonight on Marvel Runaways.
We made a deal with the devil.
The Pride hosts their annual gala, and the kids use the time to download footage of the previous sacrifices from the main room servers.
We 3 are Operation Tina's server room. These ports must work off an internal interface. I can't plug in.
We're just shutting it down. Do you know how valuable this is?
Marvel Runaways, tonight 9:30 p.m. right here on your #1 to watch, MTV.
Welcome back to the news. Turning overseas now, urban sprawl has claimed a lot of prime farming land across Australia in recent years. This has prompted Australia's farming community to come up with new and innovative ways of producing food.
This isn't a 70s disco. It's a paddock. But here, there's no soil to till, no bugs or disease to contend with, and whether it's sunny outside doesn't matter in the slightest, thanks to the tens of thousands of twinkling LED lights. This is vertical farming, where the crop is grown entirely inside an industrial warehouse.
Basically go from seed to harvest of green leafy vegetables, salad greens, herbs inside about a 28-day period.
It looks and is pretty high-tech. Fully operational, the vertical farm can produce around 500 kilograms of cut leafy greens per week, 52 weeks a year. And it's almost entirely automated. With just the click of a mouse, John's able to set the entire harvest and planting process in motion. First, seeds are planted via an automatic seeder directly into clay pebbles, then watered with something dramatically referred to as an organic germination accelerant, and transported down the line to their new home for the next month.
The system moves that growing tray towards a climate cell. It lifts it to the correct level. There are 8 levels in a climate cell. And then it opens the door relevant, pushes in the tray, and the tray will stay in there for 28 days while it grows.
Anxiety can affect people at different stages of their lives and sometimes when they least expect it. The situation is no different for children, so how can we recognize when they are feeling anxious and what can we do to help them?
Anxiety can present in different ways for children. For some children, they might be able to verbalise it. For others, it might be sleep disturbances or clinginess or asking lots of questions about what the next year is going to look like for them in terms of, their new classroom or perhaps even for some students, their new school. It's really important that we're picking up on those signals that children are saying. Some children become quite withdrawn and quiet, and their behaviour changes a bit. Sometimes they might have trouble sleeping, or we see changes in their enjoyment of activities, and they can be clues that perhaps something is going on for them, and being able to ask the right questions. So we say that anxiety becomes most significant, interestingly enough, at the age 6. Children are getting used to understanding the world a lot better. So with understanding becomes an increase in doubts and concerns and sometimes some unhelpful thoughts about what they think is going to be happening for them. I think one of the most important things is that we don't dismiss children's worries, saying things like, oh, don't worry, don't be silly. They're not helpful. You think, that I'll reassure you that this isn't something to worry about. But in their mind, it is. So teaching children to communicate how they're feeling and also to balance the difference between a worry thought and a helpful thought. Sometimes in an effort to protect our child from experiencing emotional discomfort, we either try to help them out by avoiding situations, or of stress for adults as well in terms of managing anxiety. Girls are usually more verbal, but really it does depend on the personality of the child. And anxiety, like most things, can manifest differently in terms of personality.
Most of us don't have enough fibre in our diet, despite the fact that it reduces the chances of a heart attack, strokes, as well as type 2 diabetes. Fibre is present in fruit, vegetables, whole grain bread, pasta and grains. Researchers in the UK say that most of us are failing to eat the recommended 30 grams a day.
As we should do. It's not something I think about when we shop and cook and things.
I don't really think about fibre, to be honest. No.
I wouldn't have no idea how many grams of fibre's in anything, so yeah, it'd be good to know.
So how do you get your 30 grams of fibre a day? Let's start with breakfast. 2 slices of wholemeal toast, 6.4 grams of fibre, more than double what you get in white bread. Add to that a banana and you're nearly a third of the way there. Or you could have some porridge plus fruit. At lunchtime, this meal has a whopping 21 grams of fibre. The baked potato with its skin on, some baked beans and a large apple. Well, that's your recommended intake in just 2 meals. Then in the evening, you could have some whole wheat pasta, some pulses like kidney beans, some whole grain rice. Don't forget the veg. Each of these has 3 grams of fibre and then a handful of unsalted nuts, and you're getting all the roughage you need.
Around 9% of the population hit that 30-gram target, so it's a lot of us that are quite deficient really, and that's for a variety of reasons. But generally, if we were to all increase our fruit and vegetable intake, getting fruits and vegetables at every meal and every snack, for most of us that would bump us up really significantly and really help decrease those those risk factors.
Fibre is crucial for our digestive and overall health. Those on popular low-carb diets may be missing out on this key ingredient.
Vanuatu's government will consider using drones to deliver vaccines after a successful world-first trial. 3 drops were made last month, with the drones flying up to 40 kilometres over rugged mountain terrain to get to remote island communities.
On the island of Pentecost, life-saving vaccines are stored at Malsisi Hospital.
Vaccine order for 2 months.
It's registered nurse Dominic Boulet's job to deliver them to remote villages, sometimes by boat, sometimes by car, but mostly on foot, over all types of terrain and all types of weather.
Hello!
This is Vanuatu's reality. With over 80 remote islands, 20% of the country's children aren't fully immunised. But that might be about to change.
There were 3 drone drops in December. There's a huge potential, but we need to take it step by step and learn our way forward.
This was the first successful drop last month, a world first to immunise children with vaccines delivered by commercial drone. 12 other children are also given their shots in what's being hailed a game changer. But it doesn't come without huge challenges.
We're still in the first stages of both the technology itself, but just as importantly, the innovation between all the partners that have to come together to make it work.
Partners including the Vanuatu government, medical authorities, civil aviation, drone companies, UNICEF. Not to mention crucial buy-in from the communities themselves.
Once the trials are over in the next few weeks, a review will be done looking at the pros and cons so firm decisions can be made about using drones for vaccine deliveries.
Other Pacific countries are watching the trials with interest.
Solomon Islands, Papua New Guinea, Kiribati, anywhere where we've got many islands with small populations where there are children currently not getting the immunisations.
Closing the distance between communities means giving children the chance to survive and thrive.
You're with Saturday's News. Up next to take a look at some sporting updates in Chukai Sports. Don't go away.
In our harsh and vibrant landscape, Dulux Weather Shield is the perfect choice to protect your building against everything Mother Nature throws at it. Worth doing, worth Dulux.
Let the cold, misty mountains of the Highlands welcome you to our peaceful surroundings and fresh air. At the Juwaka Mission Resort, we guarantee safety and comfort with a 24-hour security and standby genset and solar. You are our #1 priority, with premium rooms all multi-channel and great housekeeping, ensuring you feel at home away from home. With a restaurant and bar and a private lounge all for your needs, our services extend to airport transfers and hire cars, and a spacious conference centre that caters up to 200 people. Juwaka Mission Resort. You know us when you're here.
Bomb chicka wow wow. Bomb chicka wow wow. Bomb chicka wow wow. Wow wow.
We've improved the formula. New links with added.
Bomb chicka wow wow.
The IPI Group is PNG's most innovative, dynamic and diverse logistics company. Totally focused on delivering outstanding service. Our diversified divisions span from major warehousing, bulk fuel and road transport to large-scale commercial catering. The IPI Group of companies will be your partner, supplying tailor-made logistics solutions.
Women's World is a program which advocates strongly for women here within Papua New Guinea.
Coming in 2019. So 2019, keep tuning in to your #1 to watch, MTV.
Chukai Sports.
Welcome to Chukai Sports. 26 clubs are confirmed to participate in the 2019 National Soccer League competition. These clubs were endorsed by both the NSL and PNG Football Association.
We are 2 weeks away before the start of PNG's semi-professional competition, the National Soccer League. 8 clubs have been confirmed to take part in the Southern Conference, 7 in Northern, 5 in the New Guinea Islands and 6 in the Highlands. With the deadline of the expression of interest being moved to the 18th of January, this gives ample time for other franchises who wish to compete in the NSL to send in their EOI with the required fees. The NSL is expecting 6 teams from NGI and Highlands respectively, while there is likely to be 8 teams participating in the Southern, while Northern Conference to have 7. The 8 teams confirmed for the Southern Conference are Southern Strikers, Hekari United, Eastern Stars, Port Moresby United, PRK Gulf Comara, Central United, Bougainville and Star Mountain. Northern Conference teams are Toti City, Morobe United, Morobe Wawens, Besta PNG United, Lahi, Markham and Tusbab Stallions. Highlands has Aporomai, Enga Laima, Kagwa Erave, Mount Hagen, Blue Kumuls and Simbu, while New Guinea Islands has West Tribe FC, Admiralty Peliao, Shebu Arab, Radas and Talasia FC. The start of the competition has been moved to the 26th of this month. Elijah Levet, National EMTV Sports.
The Central Dabari Rugby League extended their train-on squad, adding 40 players to their current 60-man train-on squad, bringing the total to 100 players in the squad. The initial 60 players began training early this week. The 40 players are expected to turn up for combined training on Monday at the Bava Park Stadium. Suli Suli with the details.
Dabari's official Facebook page announced that 40 players from the Port Moresby Rugby Football League have been added to their train-on squad. The players selected from POM RFL will combine with the 60 players picked from the affiliated leagues in Central Province, extending the train-on squad to 100 players. The train-on squad will be put into 5 teams for the trial match scheduled on the 25th of this month. Dabari's technical director Chris Enara says the squad number will be trimmed.
We really need to fine-tune or trim down our squad first. All right, at the moment we have a big squad, that's what we're working on. As soon as we trim down to the required number, and then we're looking at trying to go at least another 3 or 2 more trials before we finalize the squad here, after the trial match with PR sides and the Koyari teams. Yeah.
According to NRA, 40-plus players will be retained after the trial match and more to be released after another trial match.
And we'll work on that 40 and 50-man squad. Probably after another trial, we'll trim down to 40 and then probably lock it down on 30. But, we've got plans and in place where we're still going to, when we release players, we're still going to get them involved in those plans, and all this will be announced in future.
Preparations are underway for the 2019 season, and NRS says the team is aiming to produce positive results in the Intercity Cup competition.
Coming in, I'm pretty sure everybody's excited, so as, the players, but, we're just going to keep it simple. We just need to, get ourselves right, prepare ourselves well, and then results will speak for itself. So it's all about hard work on the training pattern. So it comes to us, the coaching staff and the technical officers. We just need to get them as ready, prepared as much as possible. So results. We don't want to preempt anything, but we are just confident that we're just going to go in there with every guns blazing. Yeah.
With much talk on the team's lead up to its current position, NRA is confident with the players from Central and says players from other provinces will not be considered in the Dabari's team.
Well, at the moment, we are just trying to look within Central Province first. We're going to test ourselves out. All right, if we need players from outside, we will. But I'm very confident. I'm very comfortable with what we have at the moment. So we just need to work on them and have faith in them.
Central Dabari's team is looking forward to a friendly match with a team from the Intercity Cup before the competition begins.
Well, we have to. We really need to test ourselves out. We got to, measure ourselves against these teams and then probably identify our strengths and weaknesses before the season proper kicks off. So yeah, definitely we have to.
Suli Suli, National EMTV Sports.
With players from the 2018 season moving on with contracts overseas and elsewhere, the Hunters are looking for new players to fill into key positions. And with the 2019 season to start in the second week of March, the coaching staff has been watching closely at potential players in the train-on squad.
In a rugby league team, the spine is considered the most important part of the team. The spine includes the hooker, the halfback and the 5'8". These players control the game, from the defense structure to the set plays. For the SPPNG Hunters, they have lost their spine, which held the team together for the past 3 years. Hooker Wartovo Poara and the halves pairing of Ase and Watson Boas have left for their 2019 season in the United Kingdom. That has left the Hunters coaching and management team in search of a new spine for the 2019 season of the Intra Super Cup.
As you know, we've got the Boas brothers have left, so we're looking at building a new combination within our spine of the nine, including Wartovo, so we've pretty much got a new spine happening.
A few players have been with the club last season on standby for the 3 key players and are being considered for the positions. William Mone was a halfback with the Hella Rigman franchise before coming into the Hunters last season, while Charlie Simon had stepped in a few times in the halves position last season. For the role of hooker, young Woods Kawage, who made the under-23 PNG resident side last year, is in camp.
We've got a couple of young boys, as well as we've got Charlie, who's got a bit of experience there, so that should add to our progression. So in saying that, you know, we have a criteria. We look at all aspects, as well as youth and experience.
With round 1 scheduled for the 9th of March, time is of the essence for the Hunters to come up with the final squad. The main aim is to get players that can keep up with the 25 rounds of the season and can fit in well with their assigned positions.
The ISC competition is quite demanding. The first 5 to 6 weeks can get a player eased into the competition, but it's a long season, and then we look at, you know, durability over that period. Players settling into roles, combinations and things like that. So.
Fidelis Sukina, National EMTV Sports.
The Oceania Pro Boxing Championships will be launched tomorrow at Tauranga. The tournament has been deferred a couple of times last year. Elijah Levet with the details.
The International Professional Boxing Bout will take place in March here in Port Moresby. This event will feature professional boxers from PNG and Indonesia.
Indonesians are coming over to PNG, and the Indonesian fighters will take our boys at March 24. So this is a title or senior fight titles also. One has been done already between Kaka and John Korake. The 2 remaining belts are still there for Junior Raka and Jimmy Pice.
The PNG Professional Boxing Gym was supposed to end 2018 on a high note with this final international bout, but that was not the case, as they had to defer the championships to March this year due to visa issues.
This fight has been sponsored for a couple of times because due to our, beyond our control, to the visa of the Indonesian fighters. So now we prepare everything. We got the both fighters ready, everything ready. So we launched the date on March. We host a fight on March 24.
The boxing event is jointly supported and promoted by PNG Professional Boxing Gym and Universal Promotions, both local entities.
I went through the Indonesian fighters. I picked them through Mandela Gym there, and I see they're very strong. It's good for, we make good challenge for develop our boys here, because they make a lot of fight there, but they end a little living. But we can make a good fight here and make a good living with money, cash prizes.
Elijah Levet, National EMTV Sports.
Trukai Sports continues with more after the break. Stay tuned.
Trukai Sports.
Are you looking for something to chew?
Yes, I am.
but it's more difficult to find something to choose.
Not the future,
Mi no kai kai boy, mi kai kai pike tasa.
I love the way you taste.
I love the easy meal.
I love family dinner time.
I love my true kind.
I love the quality.
I love the yummy smell.
I love the energy and strength.
I love my true kind.
So many reasons, all of us agreeing. So put on your t-shirts and let's all sing.
I love my true kind.
I love my true kind.
I love my true kind.
Let's sing it again.
I love my true kind.
I like my true kind.
I love my true kind. PNG's rice, the berry-less rice. Let's get all love a true kind.
Welcome back to Trukai Sports. To tennis, the men's finals in the ASB Classic provided some special entertainment for local fans in New Zealand, with the two matches featuring a number of players with Kiwi connections. One of them was a bullboy in Auckland years ago, and today he walked off court a champion.
It's not often an ATP doubles final is 50% Kiwi. Well, at least kind of. Local favourite Michael Venus up against Queenstown born and bred Ben McLaughlin, who now plays for Japan. Although it was his partner, Jan Leonard Struve, who produced the shot of the match.
There. Yes. Oh, and your shots don't have to go over the net when you can go around it.
The unseeded duo clinched the first set, but Grand Slam champion Venus and Raven Klaasen went up a break early in the second.
Oh, Venus. That is a shot from out of this world.
Although it's tough when you have a German Superman on the other side of the net.
Oh, that's just too good.
His aim was even more on target with the bizarre winning shot.
Oh, no.
McLaughlin's first time playing the tournament proving a bit more successful than his days as a ball boy.
I was about to ball boy Guillermo Coria on centre court, and I think I had a heat stroke and fainted. I had to leave the court.
Instead, he's leaving Auckland with his third doubles title. Cameron Norrie grew up in Auckland and was hoping to claim his first singles crown here, as was American Tennis Sandgren, who was too good in the opening set.
And he only needs one.
Norrie, who switched allegiances to Great Britain as a teenager, did his best to remind Kiwis what they let get away.
Oh, that's just too good.
But in the end, Sandgren was too strong. The world number 63 didn't drop a set all tournament, winning the final 6-4, 6-2.
He's a champion.
With his parents watching on, Norrie had to settle for the runners-up award.
Thanks to everyone that sent me a message over the last couple of weeks. I haven't got to all of them, but I appreciate all your support.
Auckland will now also be a special place for the big American, the site of his maiden ATP victory.
To cricket, the Black Caps head into their biggest assignments of the home summer with plenty of confidence after another win to end Sri Lanka's tour in New Zealand. The home side has beaten them by 35 runs, fighting back to post 179 for 7 from their 20 overs before dismissing the visitors for 144. Their summer now takes a step up with powerhouse India about to arrive.
Another trophy for the Black Caps this summer, albeit after a one-off 2020, one where they had to dig themselves out of a hole.
Doug, someone who's set out for the last 3 one-dayers, and to come in and put a performance like that along with someone on his debut in this format, Scott Kugelheim, just shows you the character of the guys and the never die attitude.
The 35-run victory once again highlighting the depth building in the New Zealand squad, with Doug Bracewell and Scott Kugelheim batting them out of trouble.
Played from Bracewell, that'll be 6 more.
And Lockie Ferguson and Ish Sodhi leading the side at the bowling crease.
Straight through him. How quick was that?
I put a lot of work into my game over the time, but it's just exciting to be a part of a fast bowling group which has so much talent, and everyone who sort of comes on, as well as our spinners, create a lot of pressure.
New Zealand's yet to lose this summer across 3 formats against Sri Lanka, with 1 drawn test, the only game they haven't won. Just how good they genuinely are will become much clearer later this month and into February, when the Black Caps face the might of India in ODIs and 2020s.
We know that we're going to have to go up another level against the top-class Indian side. We'll get a little sneak peek at the 3 ODIs over the next week or so in Australia.
And with the World Cup looming just 4 months away, the aforementioned depth is serving real competition for spots in the 15-man squad.
Didn't get a chance in the one-days, but that's sort of international cricket. But yeah, I was ready to go tonight. Just looking forward to getting a game, and tried not to put myself under too much pressure and just sort of go out and enjoy it. And I was pretty stoked to contribute.
More success to chase for the Black Caps, along with a fight within to sort out those 15 that will hunt for cricket's ultimate prize.
And that ends Shukai Sports. Stay tuned for weather details coming up next.
Shukai Sports. True Kai Sports.
I love the way you taste.
I love the easy meal.
I love family dinner time.
I love my true guy.
I love the quality.
I love the yummy smell. I love the energy and strength.
I love my true guy. So many reasons, all of us agreeing. So put on your t-shirts and let's all sing.
I love my true guy.
I love my true guy.
I love my true guy.
Let's sing it again. I love my true guy.
I like my true guy.
I love my true guy. PNG's rice, the very best rice. Cause we all love a true guy.
Let the cold, misty mountains of the Highlands welcome you to our peaceful surroundings and fresh air. At the Juwaka Mission Resort, we guarantee safety and comfort with a 24-hour security and standby genset and solar. You are our #1 priority, with premium rooms all multi-channel and great housekeeping, ensuring you feel at home away from home. With a restaurant and bar and a private lounge, all for your needs. Our services extend to airport transfers and hire cars, and a spacious conference center that caters up to 200 people. Juwaka Mission Resort. You know us when you're here.
Technology is constantly evolving, creating opportunities to grow and connect globally. Telecom PNG provides you with the best innovative and flexible solutions. Our wide-ranging product portfolio includes
fixed line business system, fixed broadband internet service, metro fiber network, VSAT service.
You can trust us to take care of your business solution needs.
Telecom PNG, always there.
In our harsh and vibrant landscape, Dulux Weather Shield is the perfect choice to protect your building against everything Mother Nature throws at it. Worth doing, worth Dulux.
The weather details were proudly brought to you by Dulux, celebrating 50 years in PNG and the only paint made in PNG.
A look at the weather forecast in the southern region only. Fine weather in Port Moresby, Kerema, Allentown, Popondetta, and a shower or two in Daru.
The weather details were proudly brought to you by Dulux, celebrating 50 years in PNG and the only paint made in PNG.
And that's been the news, sport and weather for Saturday, 12th of January 2019. On behalf of the news team, pleasant viewing. Good night.
This news program was proudly brought to you by Paradise Foods and Paradise Beverages.